Well, I mean, on my end, as I told you guys, the core team, I've been putting a lot of effort into Peace DAO. That's been going well. I mean, I think putting enough infrastructure in place so that it could scale up when it really starts to try to aggressively build community. Yeah, it's been going good. I mean, it's been a lot of work, but I think it's worthwhile, and I'm happy to take a greater role there. What about you
Nice.
guys? What have you been up to?
Awesome. I actually am remember that crypto altruist guy
Yeah,
runs that website. I'm just finished the article that I was writing for that, and it's about pretty much about Peace DAO. Not like directly about Peace DAO, but it mentions Peace DAO as like an
nice,
example of a charitable model for DAOs.
awesome.
So it's
I have,
fun to write.
yeah, I got my friend from the kitchen trying to come in, and it's telling them they're alone in the lounge.
It might be in a different lounge. Peace DAO is also called lounge, I think, or is it
Where's
called stage?
Peace Talk?
I guess just have them check if there's other voice channels they could see, or on the Discord icon they could probably join from the icon because they'll see us like talking right now.
They don't seem to be anywhere in the server.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
no?
don't see a anyone else.
Let me see. Sent them the link to the Discord. Okay, their name is Lucid, Lucid. I don't know if you can see him see him in the members. He probably hasn't been through like the welcome and next steps and stuff. We have to. We were gonna go through that this morning. We had a.
Is he able to figure it out?
Y'all can continue, and I'll keep. I'll check in with them. If you see me leave, that's just so I can call them.
Cool. Yeah, no worries.
Okay.
Mark, how's the progress on your big partnership going? Anything? Any new updates?
Yeah, just a little bit of background. So we've been posting on Twitter every day, as I mentioned last week. We're up to 4,000 followers. We've actually been speaking to a climate impact organization as well, who has a very large following, and they've been retweeting our tweets, and they're looking to partner with us on the sale of these NFTs. So need to move that to the next level. And the big change last week was we're speaking with this organization who owns a forest in Zambia, and they're probably 80-90% of the way through getting Red Plus certification. And so what we're looking to do with them is for each of our NFTs for our forest, we'll also bundle in 25 future contracts for carbon credits for their forests as well. And so it'll be a special promotion for the first 4,000 NFTs. You get the rights to 1 hectare, the carbon sequestration rights to 1 hectare of our forest, plus 25 future carbon credits for this forest in Zambia. So we're close to getting the contract signed for that. Hopefully we'll have the contract signed tomorrow. also been speaking with a couple of marketing organizations that want to help us with that. And if we move ahead with that, we've got to actually implement the NFT sale by the end of September. So this will be a 4-week special promotion that hopefully will start next week. As soon as we sign the contract with the forest or the owners of this Red Plus forest project, then we'll start that special promotion. And now we're getting a lot of interest from other people in the industry. So Chainlink approached us. So we met with Chainlink yesterday. We got a meeting with Toucan on Monday. And we also met with a company called Shamba. They're based in Kenya and they do on the ground certification. And what we're looking to do for our forest, because for our forest, we're not necessarily going to have Vera certification, but we're looking at making that NFT an impact certificate. So today it will have data about carbon sequestration. In the future, we will add more data, maybe data about biomass. And this company, Shamba, they use satellite technology to generate all sorts of data. And so hopefully in the future, our NFT won't just be carbon sequestration, but there would be biodiversity data. And maybe, again, we're reinvesting money back into that community, but invest effectively through a venture capital company that will hopefully, start companies and create jobs and economic growth. And a lot of that impact data we would hope to capture in the NFT as well. And so this NFT becomes an electronic impact certificate. And so that's the plan.
It's super
Exciting.
cool. Yeah, I was been talking to a few other projects that like are trying to basically use their token as like sort of an indirect means to become like a social impact credit type thing.
Mhm.
And I'm just curious because you're in, I know it's on the carbon credit space, but like if you have any thoughts on just like that model, or if you've seen anyone else do stuff like that. Like I've heard that there is maybe another DAO that's kind of focused on like plastic cleanup or something like that, and so like and they were able to basically pitch it as by buying their token, you're kind of like um, it's like a social impact or an impact token around like environmental, like from plastic removal. So just kind of like, wondering if anyone's got any thoughts on like that kind of trend happening and what you kind of have to do to, you know, to make that a standard.
Yeah, one of the thoughts that we've been kicking around is that maybe in the long run, this becomes more like a social network where, today people are posting information about, you know, photographs of the meal that they're about to eat. But in the future, maybe some of this information will be, a little more around people's social impact and what they're doing, and then how that intersects with other people's profile, social impact profile as well.
Yeah, it's like I think there's and I'm not like a huge expert in the ESG industry or anything, but I've heard a lot of chat about just like, trying to like basically take some of these new models for like how we're creating these tokens that represent or potentially represent like impact, and like tying that to like the ESG investor community. And I know that there's also like a lot of talk about how like ESG today is not really that impactful, and just the types of investments and like what they're tied to aren't really like anything good. And so like there's probably just a ton of money out there that's like waiting to actually go into something impactful, and like figuring out how we can kind of align those like investors with these types of projects.
Yeah, and as I mentioned a few weeks ago, there's that whole impact investors industry, and the GIN, the GI Global Impact Investors Network. There's a number of companies who have been spending a lot of time trying to figure out how to quantify all sorts of social impact, and people have got some really interesting models that they're trying to turn into software solutions. So there's a lot of work going on in that arena. It'd be interesting to see with their annual conference that's coming up in October. I'm pretty certain there'll be some interesting presentations from organizations that are quantifying all sorts of, different types of social impact.
Yeah, you know what? We should honestly go to that. You said that's in September.
October, and I think it's in the Netherlands this year.
Yeah.
I'm down, Obi. Let's go. You and I.
Yeah, hell yeah. Let's. I don't need an excuse to go to the Netherlands. Let's. What's that called again? Gin. Like impact.
GIIN.
Yeah,
Oh, GII.
.org, THEGIIN.org.
Sweet. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna look into that because I think that'd be like something super valuable to like be involved in and figure out what's happening there because I think we're gonna literally be merging, this space with more traditional ones. So
So
uh,
I've been talking to a lot of people in like the carbon credit space on chain, and also the conversations lead into like ESG on chain. And I think one of like the biggest things, which I personally have an issue with, and a bunch of people do, is like after the like you should reward people for you can reward people for doing impact, like removing carbon, through financial means, right? But the individuals that are buying that impact, it should not be liquid, right? Like if you're buying a carbon token to offset your business's carbon, well, that token should not be an investment, right? You need to offset the carbon, not hold on to it and then one day decide you actually are going to sell it because it's increased in price. And then, well, technically the impact that you've done or you've promised your customers goes to nothing. And so it's like in the carbon space, for example, like once a carbon credit is put on chain and then goes through a sales process so that the person that puts it on chain is able to get financially rewarded for that, then almost that token should be locked and not tradable.
Yeah, and Aidan, the situation was even worse than that because what Toucan were doing is they were retiring the carbon credits, then they were putting them on chain, and then they were selling them. And
Are
so
you fucking kidding?
Yeah, and then Vera stepped in and they said they don't want that anymore and they blocked them from doing it. And now the whole industry is kind of in disarray a little bit.
Oh
But yeah,
man,
what
yeah.
does it mean to retire a carbon credit?
it's non-tradable. You can't sell it.
Yeah.
So
I mean, that's what needs to happen, right? Like Microsoft goes and buys 10 million tons of carbon. Microsoft should not be able to go and sell 10 million tons of carbon, right? Like the whole purpose of a carbon offset and buying carbon is to impact the environment. Once that initial sale is made of the person that created that carbon offset, it should no longer be able to be sold again.
Unless it keeps producing carbon, right?
Well, then you create new tokens. Though,
I mean, it
right?
keeps
Like the project
sequestering
can,
carbon, in other words.
the
I'm thinking of
project
Mark's
can
idea. If somebody
Well,
owns a chunk of forest that keeps
Yeah,
sequestering
but-
carbon,
Yeah, that's completely different though, right? Like
Right.
Carbon on chain is 1 ton of carbon equals X, right? 1 token. And
Right.
so that's what you
It's an
buy and
offset,
sell initially.
basically.
Yeah.
Right.
Like
Got
what
it.
Mark's doing is a carbon off or like a carbon offset investment almost, right? Which constantly offsets or constantly sequesters carbon. But what's going on like in the industry at large is how a carbon credit is sold is through 1 ton, right? 1 ton, and then you buy in multiples. But that 1 ton, in my opinion, and most people's opinion, it should not be able to be resold. The second you buy it, right, you're contributing to the impact. You've bought your carbon. The individual who created that carbon offset is rewarded, so they can go and do another. And then we've taken out the atmosphere, so now it's taken off the market.
Right.
So
There's a bunch of arguments out there where it's like, on average, it'd be with the demand by 2030, the average carbon credit per ton, which is like, hovering around $11 right now, will be worth $30. And so part of the discussion is, well, now this becomes a big investment opportunity of the lifetime, 3x return in 7 years. And it's like, well, fuck off. That's not the point of a carbon credit.
Yeah, and to your
Right.
point, I mean, you end up with a situation where the brokers make all the money, and
Exactly. Every
yeah,
transaction.
yeah.
And they're just making money for the same product.
What if we
Yeah.
had a DEX for carbon credits where the fees went into a DAO that I'm just playing, but not really though.
I'm just playing, but seriously though.
So going further on that, like, because I literally just learned like not too long ago that there actually is like other things like impact credits and other other
Yeah.
ways like that people are able to like sell these corporates like to offset or not even offset, I guess, just like to invest in ESG and whatever, and that's becoming a popular investing or popular thing. And so just wondering, like, does anyone know anything about impact credits or anything other like, any type of things like that? And like, I'm curious, like, who the parties are that are like verifying those things or certifying them.
It's pretty much the wild, wild west right now. I mean, if you like want like a basic overview of corporate America, corporate world abusing the system, go look at John Oliver's latest episode on carbon offsets, which came out on Sunday. Like it's broken.
And that's a big problem, I would say, with ESGs, at least from what I've read, is again they just become kind of this formality or motion that companies go through.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like how much impact are they having? And just as the current state of a lot of carbon offsets, it's like there's
Yeah.
no impact, or at worst, it's actually making the situation worse,
Totally.
which is horrendous.
Totally. I kind of like what the UK did a couple months ago, is that they put in a ban where companies aren't allowed to use the word sustainable right out the gate, especially product-based companies. They have to go through an approval process in order to state sustainability on their website.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Lucid, how are you? Welcome. You wanna introduce
He's a little
yourself?
too lucid right now. It's okay.
Yeah, I really do want to get this chin thing though. I wonder how much it is.
Really
It's
excited.
probably going to be expensive.
Yeah, when Mark mentioned it before, I was looking at the site. The speaker lineup looks incredible, and I feel like
I haven't found the
really learn a lot in network.
Oh, here we go.
I'm trying to find the actual event here. Oh, here we go. Events and
Member
news.
rate 1,300. General 2,100.
Jesus.
That's early bird.
Figured for an investing conference, they always try to screw you.
I put a link in the chat to the speaker lineup.
I wonder if there's a way, like, if we're kind of there, like, doing good, that they could like sponsor us some kind of
That's
ticket.
what everyone there is doing.
Well, I guess.
We could try to be speakers, right? If you're a speaker, usually they don't charge you.
Yeah.
Might be a little too
Maybe I'll
late in the
just-
game for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What chat did you put it in?
2,500 bucks. I put it in the chat here, the lounge chat. You gotta click the like chat icon.
Oh, the open chat. Oh, got it. Okay.
Yeah, that'd be an expensive trip because you'd have to pay like $1,500 for flight.
Oh yeah, it's a
Yeah.
$5,000 trip.
Pricey. Yeah, it's
At least a
pricey.
$5,000 trip.
Their website could use some work though.
So we can barter. We'll overhaul the UI on their website, and they'll give us free tickets.
We should overhaul the UI on our website first as an example, and then go and talk about how
Maybe-
good we are with UI.
Maybe they need a treasury.
Maybe they need a treasury. There you go.
Maybe they need a token.
A POAP, actually.
Maybe we need a treasury raise to raise money to buy a ticket.
Oh, geez,
Now
yeah.
you're thinking.
Let's go and use our community to pay for us to go to Finland. That's exactly Web3.
People can get fractional tickets.
Yeah, and every fractional ticket gets to join my live stream on Instagram.
That's awesome.
Mark, you should definitely go to this though. Are you gonna go?
I actually went in 2018. We actually
really?
exhibited there, yeah, and it
How
was
was it?
it was fantastic. That one was in Paris, and then we actually got an attendees list, and so now all of a
No
sudden
way.
you got a list of 10,000 impact investors.
That's
Wow.
dope.
That may be
Wow.
worth the trip
I'll buy a
alone.
fraction of that list.
That's worth it.
Tokenize
Yeah.
that list. I'll buy 20%.
Yeah, but the conference was really good. The speakers were good, well attended, well organized. I thought it was really impressive.
That's good to know.
Yeah, I mean, there were people there. One guy was talking about waste to energy, where they had this system where they'd make a deal with a city and get access to their waste site.
Burn it and then make
Yeah.
electricity and sell the electricity.
Right. And then the waste product out of all of this was low cost building materials. So
Mm.
they were solving the waste problem, they were solving the energy problem, and they were solving the business building construction problem all in one. It's pretty impressive.
David Patrick, Senior Advisor, Bain Capital, double impact. Not single impact.
What does that even mean?
And it means to double the impact.
Maybe I'm just gonna go spam some of these speakers and people on LinkedIn and see if they can get me a free ticket.
We can always just like
honestly,
go in
sometimes
front of the center and try to sneak in. Go back to like 2015, Aiden, sneaking into conferences.
Honestly, I have gotten free tickets before by just like hitting up people on
Just
LinkedIn.
asking.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm a poor student.
Well, I usually start it off by saying, "Wow, great conference!" Like, or if they're speaking or something like congrats on speaking there. Really wish I could gone to that. And then sometimes they'll just offer it up like, "Oh, well, we have extra tickets if you
Sponsorship
want to."
opportunities. Sharon Kossoff, Director of Sponsorship and Donor Relations. SKOSSOFF at thegin.org. There you go.
You can also volunteer to work the conference and like suggest to be like a host in the VIP area or whatever for speakers, and then you get to meet all the speakers, and they'll give you a free ticket for working one of the shifts.
Yeah, that's what I did during Collision.
Yeah.
They tell me I have to work.
No, you just say you're going to work, and then you network. The word work is in the word.
It's inherently part of the word. Yes.
Yeah, I could actually do that.
I don't see a volunteer list anywhere, though.
Either.
$2,500 a ticket plus executive sponsors. Maybe they actually pay their volunteers and have employees.
Yeah. All right, I gotta hop, you guys. This was great.
Likewise. Good to hear everyone's voices. Bye-bye.